Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to install Windows 7. Now, this is a requested topic from ABXX in the comments of my most popular video. So how do we do this? How do we install Windows 7 in 2023? First up, we need Rufus, and you can also find the link to it in the description. Once you have Rufus downloaded, download your ISO image wherever you like on your computer. Done? Right. Open Rufus and click on the select button on the right hand side. Find the ISO image wherever you downloaded it and select it like you see here. Once that is done, there is a setting we need to adjust. Under the Partition Scheme tab, choose MBR instead of GPT. GPT is the newer format, but Windows 7 does not properly support it, so make sure it is set on MBR. Once you're done, click on Start. Make sure you don't have anything important on the drive, as everything will get deleted. Press OK and continue. Now this might take a while, up to 5 minutes, so grab a coffee and relax. I'll speed up the footage. After you are done, this text will appear on screen. Make sure to safely eject the stick, and now we start the installation itself. It doesn't matter what stick you're going to use as long as it is 4 GB and more. Now, it matters where you plug that particular stick in the computer. You need to plug the stick into a USB 2.0 port. That is the gray slots, not the blue slots as you see on screen. It is very important that you plug your keyboard and mouse into a USB 2.0 port as well. If your computer does not have any 2.0 port, which is possible, although unlikely, make sure to follow the link in the description for a Windows 7 install guide with USB 3.0 drivers. Okay? Good. Now let's start the installation itself. Okay, so here we go, we have the USB plugged in, and all we have to do now is start the computer. Now press delete to enter the BIOS. It might be F2 for your computer. Press F1 if this error message comes up. This is the error message that comes up when you start up a computer for the first time. So here we go. We get into the BIOS. Now we first have to adjust the way the motherboard sees the hard drive or the SSD. So we go into the Advanced tab under SATA configuration. We look for our drive, and our drive is there, Corsair, CSSB. That drive will be different for your drive. And here we have to set the SATA mode as AHCI. This is the modern standard and it will work the best. Now Windows 7 I think does support IDE, but it will run slower and it will limit your hard drive or SSD to a certain access pattern. So if you don't want the technical details, just stick to AHCI if your motherboard can handle it. And after we've done that, we press escape and then we slide on to exit, or you can use the mouse if you have one. And we click save changes and reset. Now we're gonna get into the BIOS the second time, and now we're gonna choose to boot from the USB drive. So press delete again. It might be F2 or F12 for your motherboard or laptop. And now we go into the boot tab, and into the boot tab we go to the USB support, and we click on full initialization. We need the USB to initialize in order to install Windows 7 from it. And then we go lower, where we have boot override. If you do not have boot override, make sure the boot option is first set for the USB that you have connected. So if you have this problem like I do, you have to go into hard drive BBS properties and make sure the USB is on the first option. Now that we've done that, we can either choose to boot override into the USB, or we can choose to just save and exit, and the first boot option will be the USB stick. So you use the right arrow key and then go to exit, save changes and reset. Click yes, and the system will reset the second time. Once we've done that, we do not need to press delete anymore. We'll let the system boot into the USB drive. We press enter, and now Windows is loading files. So from now on, this will be a simple Windows 7 install. All the hard part is gone. Now we have a user interface that will teach us and help us all the way through. Okay, so now we have to choose the language. Choose the language that you see fit. Then press next. Install now. And now we'll wait for the setup to start. Press I accept, then next. Then press custom. Now here we have all the partitions of the drive. Now make sure the drive is backed up. If you are using an older drive, please make sure all the data is backed up to this point. Now we will delete all the partitions here. So press drive options and delete. And delete again. We need an allocated space. Now we will reuse the whole drive. If you want to use just a part of the drive, press next. Then choose the amount of megabytes you want to install your Windows to. So I will be installing to the whole drive, and that is the recommended way, but if you want a smaller partition, this is the way you do. So I want to press cancel, but you want to press apply. Now I'll press next. And now we wait while Windows is copying files. Now once that is done, make sure to restart the computer, and then do not press any key while that prompt is up. Now the computer will start into Windows 7 and it will do its thing. So let it do its thing. Now Windows will check your video performance and will prompt you to enter a name. So let's do that real quick. Now from this point on you can remove the USB drive, but I do not recommend it yet, so keep it there unless you absolutely need it to take out. So let's give it a name. We press next. Then we give it a password. If you don't want to give it a password, just press next or enter, it will be just as good. Now we get to the point of activation. We need to activate the Windows 7 install. Now I will leave a list or at least one key in the description in order to activate your Windows 7. But you can use the one I'm using on screen right now. Congratulations! You managed to install Windows 7 all by your own. Now, let us talk about something. Right now, I'm using a relatively modern but still quite old CPU. This is a CPU from 2013 with a motherboard that is from the same time. Now, if you're trying to install Windows 7 on a newer machine, if it is an Intel machine, you might have luck and it might work. That being said, when I'm referring to a newer machine, I'm referring to Intel 7th, 8th or 9th generation. For newer motherboards, newer than 2021, the support for Windows 7 might be quite rough. So just keep that in mind. For Ryzen CPUs, if you're trying to install this on the 1st gen Ryzen, it might work just fine for you. If you are trying to install this on a later Ryzen CPU and motherboard, you will need to follow this video that I've linked in the description and possibly in the info box in the right hand side. Now that being said, these are great tutorials, and if you have any problems regarding USB free drivers, maybe your computer does not have any USB 2 ports. If that is the case, just click the Windows 7 with USB free drivers installation in the description. If your system is a Ryzen one or it is way too modern, you might want to check the Ryzen tutorial. But with that being said, this is all I had for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.